You've got a feel for Workington. I mean, we talked a bit about the value of some of the issues around the Challenge Cup and its new format, but Workington, who will get very, very limited central funding and who have to go to Cornwall in the ordinary league season, which will probably take most of that funding, their Challenge Cup tie was against the Royal Navy, who are in
Portsmouth.
Yeah. And it looked like it was almost underwater, that pitch.
Well, that would be appropriate for the Royal Navy. Playing at fullback, sub.
They were all at sea and blah, blah,
yes,
blah,
a sub
blah,
cable.
yeah.
Haha. But again, it's like Workington. How do you manage your finances if even before your season has started you've had to do a round trip that is the longest in English Rugby League?
That's the beauty of the cup.
Yes, the magic of the cup. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the
magic of going bankrupt in the early rounds.
Yeah, I didn't actually listen to the first few minutes of this. So if you were talking Challenge Cup, I missed it. I was
No, we were filling.
But I was
like the rest of the.
I was just interested in your comment there about the values, and I'm struggling to see what they are from the structure that we've currently got, which I think
we were talking about
is a shambles.
Super League teams playing
shambles,
social-based teams.
Yeah, it's rubbish. I think it's borderline unsafe. I don't know how this idea has come about. Where I'm guessing clubs have led some of this.
Well, I get the seeding to give Championship clubs a Super League opponent.
I get that.
But only if it's one they want that big crowd and not Catalans.
But why then don't you seed it further to make sure that they can't play community clubs? And the community, some of the community clubs are talking, West Hull, York Acorn, that they are established.
But Leeds Rhinos are playing
West Warriors.
Yeah, they're not even in the National Conference League. There's Southern Conference or something on it.
But the other thing is that we're already talking about moving fixtures. So there's a very good chance, I'm told, that West Warriors will be playing Leeds Rhinos at Headingley.
Well, I'd expect so, because it's a cash
part of that comes from West Warriors wanting to play at Headingley. If they're going to make an experience of this, and
absolutely,
they're going to get beaten wherever they play, they may as well play at Headingley.
Saves Gary having to book a coach. That's good news. Saves a bit of money that way.
Well, ultimately for them, it's just a cash, isn't it? And they all know of playing at a venue as prestigious as Headingley. But
there's a due.
What does that do for the game?
But it defeats the object then of seeding a draw to make sure.
I agreed. I don't know. And if you're Leeds, you're not playing your first team. You're playing your academy string.
We were just talking about you want to play your first team because you earmark that game where you would possibly be going to Odsal or to Featherstone to play your full team because you're a week before Super League start. So
you'd
it
want
actually
to
puts your
but they're not going to do, are they?
They shouldn't do.
Yeah,
I think they're going to have to play some of them.
How strong a team do you need to put out to beat a Southern Conference team?
But the other problem is
they'd be better arranging a game behind closed doors against, or just a game against their academy side or something like that for match fitness and practice than that, in my view.
The danger, of course, is injury as well.
Yeah.
So they've lost Mike Acevo for the season after yesterday's friendly against Wigan. That's been announced today, which you probably didn't see.
I saw something about Sevo, and I didn't. It's one of those clickbait headlines, and I thought, whenever I see one, I deliberately don't click them.
Clickbait headline. Shocked.
But in fairness, it probably would have been a justified headline if he's gone for the season.
If you can hear creaking, it's not my knee; it's the heater.
Right, okay.
I thought it was someone outside drilling. I didn't realise it was.
Although it could be my knee.
Yeah.
The golden glow on the back of the set. We haven't got one of those neon signs you get on those proper podcasts. It's just the heater underneath. Andrew has been on. Love the magic of the Challenge Cup. We had the Battle of Dewsbury over the weekend. Next up is the battle against the noisy neighbours over the hill. Wakefield next up, hopefully. Well, we've got to see what the draw brings us.
Yeah, and that is the magic of the cup. You know, having said that, Dewsbury and Batley have already played once this season. This is the second time. I know they're in different leagues. So they're not going to play each other during the league, but
it could draw 1895 Cup.
Hull KR have just played York, and they're playing York next weekend in consecutive weekends.
And the weather is also an issue. That we were saying that there was an element of fortune that Hull KR and York got to Amsterdam because had it been a day later that the storms came, they would never have left Leeds Bradford Airport. Yeah. So again, everything's crammed in to the point where if we did get a cold snap and we couldn't play the second round. The third round's on the doorstep. Yeah. It's
and then throw in the 1895 Cup, which I only saw something very fleetingly on.
But we don't care about that anymore.
And is that a truncated competition? We've got
numerous
that changes
iterations
format
of
every
that.
year.
I'm gonna
two
say every
preliminary
year.
rounds now instead of a group stage.
Okay.
Can't say preliminary. Don't want two of them. No, dear me. It kicks off this week apparently with Rochdale versus Cornwall. So Cornwall have to at Rochdale Mayfield because it's no one's going to turn up at whatever it's called these days. And Midlands versus Whitehaven and Newcastle versus North Wales. Those are the first preliminary.
Prelim.
Yeah, where's Derek with his? Why did he put some glasses on Derek to do
Apparently
a video?
we're going to be using that a lot. Those. I thought they were X-ray.
Is that the ones that
specs.
didn't work when I wore them on the pitch at
Yeah.
Magic Weekend? Are Halifax hoping to play Catalans in France to get more money than playing at the Chasse, Andrew? Well, if Ken takes the ground over, he want some rent, won't he? But that's what Catalan media says on Twitter today. Magic of the Cup.
And he knows.
Halifax switching their game to France. You can't have, all right, we want a Super League team at home. Oh, but we've got the wrong one now, so we're going to have to switch. No.
And they can ring up Catalan and go, look, it's save your chartering a plane.
Can we? We'll drive down and get on the tunnel. What a shambles.
Can you pay for us to come on Euros though?
So if that happens, I mean, I don't blame West Warriors for switching their game. I can understand that makes complete sense. And York Acorn and Westhill, and not all these amateur teams. I can fully understand. Well done Siddle last year for playing Wakefield on their ground. But
Siddle played Toronto, didn't they? They've got a facility that you can take a gate. That's important.
That's
because you can't share a gate unless you can take a gate.
Well, there weren't many coming from Toronto, were there? To Siddle, let's
from
be
Manchester.
honest.
And there were quite a few interested spectators to see what Toronto would look like and be there for an historic occasion.
But you can't have. Well, we've drawn the championship teams at home, so they get a home tie, and then actually we're going to switch it. No. Can't have everything your own. Everyone in rugby league wants everything their own way. This is the problem, and you can't have it. Just deciding
again, we're scrabbling around with limited resource.
Is this my candidacy for the Frank Slevin's job? Just going, no, you can't have anything.
Oh,
Let me
yes,
see
that's your next job.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
decided.
Yeah.
Chair of Rugby League Commercial.
Yeah.
You'd be ideal.
I'm not. Yeah. Okay.
No? Summer. It's not going till the summer.
Yeah.
Got time. So the housing market busy in the summer though. It's not the busy time.
Busy all year round, of course.
Well,
I'm not sure what we're trying to do with the Challenge Cup. Really, that's what I'm struggling with. What I'm really struggling with was why we've ended up with the system we've now got, which
to give money to championship clubs.
I get that, but then, as you said, we end up in the situation we've got. I just think is a farce.
I think there's another issue, and that is we're not addressing what the issue of the Challenge Cup is, and we've said it before that it is now only ever going to be contested by and won by Super League teams, and the 1895 Cup is a fantastic opportunity for historic clubs to get to Wembley when they otherwise wouldn't. So if I'm going to pick a club completely at random. If I'm in charge at Hunslet and I'm looking at what can we achieve, it's let's become an established championship club, and at some point, luck of the draw involved, we can take our club to Wembley, because we're never ever going to get to Wembley in the Challenge Cup. But if that Merkel and Flame can take 2.5, 3, 5,000 people down to Wembley, that's something to really aim for.
Yeah, and I know where you're going with that.
So we've got two
separate them
competitions.
Out, but then look at Oldham playing Wigan as a friendly, and that works because they've not played each other for yonks. Yeah. So that's where I think it does work, and I get the argument of championship clubs at home, but you can't then have clubs then wanting to switch, but you should try and avoid having an amateur team against a Super League team. I just think it's not. In this day and age, it's not right.
But that's what people wanted. They want everyone in round one. But now we've got that. Well, actually, we don't want that.
Also, not convinced about the timing of this round. The week before Super League, I just think that's distracting. For me, that's distracting from the main competition, which should all be geared towards the launch. And yet, we're talking Challenge Cup the week before,
and the possibility of a shock where a Super League team could get beat.
We are with that kind of. I mean, I could go through the results in the Challenge Cup, but you can see them on the internet anyway.
Tell you what, you've talked about Goal in London already, I suppose.
Oh, we haven't, have we?
Watched
fair play to Goal.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't see any of it. I've seen the intercept
really
try.
Game. I mean, London were 10-0 up early on. but there was more experience in the Gull team than there was the London team.
Yeah, I've seen some of the names. What was it?
Thomas Minns got a fantastic try. Brett Ferris was captaining. Jamie Shaw was at fullback.
Andy Ellis made
a real difference. Got man of the match.
40.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's the bit that London didn't have. So again, full congratulations to Gull. But actually, they had a more experienced team out than London, whose entire three-quarter division were trialists.
We were asked what is the future, what is a good season for London this season. I guess they're having to completely rebuild again, aren't
New
they?
investors. That's the most important.
Is Mr. Hetherington still on the phone to whoever's sorting it out? Brisbane, who denied it now, haven't they? Brisbane? Yeah.
But he never actually said it was Brisbane. He said
So
he
who-
was trying to help.
So people added 2 and 2?
No, that came from Australia. There
Oh,
was a
the
reporter in
Australians.
Australia that said. But they're not far off apparently signing an investment deal. Which then,
But that comes back to the IMG, doesn't it? Because of IMG, you're more likely to invest in a club.
yes. Well, and the other thing about London when they last got promoted was it was their really clever recruitment mid-season from France.
From France, yeah.
When they got people like Dean Farray and Corey Norman. If they get investment now, yes, they'll be young, inexperienced, and perhaps a little bit naive team. Although the defensive structures were pretty good for a team that had a predominance of trialists in it. And if you can add with the money that you get, you're going to get sort of nowish mid-season. You then become more of a threat. So I think the investors are the key thing, because from that they can do some more high-profile recruitment, and they can probably have a bit more time to develop an academy. More of an in-house pathway structure, which is probably what's lacking at the moment. Foundation's quite strong, and bringing all that in, under some genuine investment will constitute success.
We started early on the crowds not being given, so that's always good. But 849 at Barrow against Crossfields. Where's Crossfields?
Warrington.
Warrington. So that's a bit of it. Is it? That's not much of a trip, is it? But still. Dewsbury got 1,252. Dewsbury Moor, that is, at
Played at Batley.
Mount Pleasant.
People say, why didn't they play Dewsbury? Do they realise how close Dewsbury and Batley are? Because there's
I
no.
don't think they wanted.
You
Well,
just
there
go
was
down the street and
I
it's
did
there.
see the statement by Dewsbury, which was a bit pointed actually. It felt like we've offered them, but they don't want to play here, so they're playing at Batley.
I'm sure I read somewhere Dewsbury Moor's closer to Mount Pleasant than it is to whatever Ram Stadium's called.
There's probably
these
not
days.
much in it actually.
I mean, Ram
probably
Stadium's
is
near
actually
Wakefield,
closer
isn't
to
it? It's
Mount
nearer
Pleasant,
Ossett than
yeah.
Batley. Halifax got 743 Against Tataouith. Would Tataouith bring more than Catalans? That's the big question.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
What if Tataouith had played Catalans in the next round? There's no crowd at Loch Lane, but I don't know if they can have one. London didn't give a crowd out. Oldham got 1,032 against Rochdale Mayfield, so that's all right for a game they were expected to win and won comfortably. Sheffield got 518 against West Bowling, but we don't know how many people went home because they kicked off late because they got out of date drugs.
Prescription drugs.
Drugs out of date in Sheffield. I mean, you make your own comments about Attercliffe yourself. I'm not doing them. Whitehaven, 908 against Swinton. Other games.
I had to break the news to Mr. Kellner gently earlier today that his team was out.
No Wembley trip. In that competition, because who they've got in the 1895 Mega AB Sundex Mega Cup?
Rochdale or Cornwall?
Oh, right.
What I didn't understand about that, and again, because I'm a bit out of touch, and not a lot of touch actually, why some teams, was it like Dewsbury against Workington or something, and then others were somebody against A or B? Why is it that? Is that because there's an
preliminary round rule?
Oh, okay, I see. Why have we ended up with that? Is there an odd number of teams or something?
Toulouse don't play it, do they? And but Cornwall playing it.
We're not having groups.
Yeah, because we had groups last year. Because that's where we got Wakefield beating Newcastle by 110 points. And Max Jarrett didn't even play in that one. He could have scored all of the points, but he didn't.
Which was deemed to be a good thing.
That's what I don't understand, but it's the constant thing with
Yeah, but the
rugby, isn't it?
1895
We constantly
Cup,
change with stuff, and I don't understand why we changed to groups and why we've gone back to something. Well, not gone back. It sounds like a different iteration again.
When are we going to have groups in the Challenge Cup? Is that going to be next year? This has been like they say, look, we've tried it your way, and it hasn't worked because you've all moaned. So now we're going to do it our way. Is that what we're going to?
And in fairness, I think that
The ghost of Maurice Lindsay's going to say, look, this is what we're
I
doing.
don't think this is how the RFL wanted it structured, by the way.
No.
Well, no, it was going to be a group, wasn't it? It was.
Yeah, I think it was.
But when was it? Was it 2 years ago we were in Manchester and they're talking about groups for the Challenge Cup?
And that was the IMG idea, wasn't it? Yeah.
And that was before grading had even come in and everything. So we've known this is on the horizon.
I think the seeding idea was a compromise, and it hasn't really worked.
When do compromises work? I mean, that's a deep thing for me to say. I don't know why I've said that. But...